We have wide receiver underperformers, fantasy football 2025.
Underperformers.
So, top on the list, obviously, Justin Jefferson, ADP wide receiver number 2, finishes points per game, wide receiver 35. Closely behind, Brian Thomas Jr., ADP wide receiver 10, points per game, wide receiver 49, with several drops to start off the year. Xavier Worthy, ADP wide receiver 25, points per game, wide receiver 61. Jerry Pooty, ADP wide receiver 33, points per game, wide receiver 68. And Matthew Golden, ADP wide receiver 39, points per game, wide receiver 93. And that's probably a lot to do with Christian
right
White
out the gate. That was that dynasty shit I was talking about. How a lot of the dynasty fantasy community spills off into the redraft with guys like Matthew Golden being drafted, within the first 10 rounds, even. You know what I
mean? Worthy was pushed up because of the Rice stuff,
suspension. Yeah. And then we found out they just aren't really good throwing the ball to a speedster if the offensive line is bad and you can't let the plays develop down the field for an Xavier Worthy.
And these guys had to have a top 50 ADP in order to qualify for this.
Yeah, okay. Oh, wow. So they're wow, people were taking Matthew Golden that high.
39. Worthy was 40. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 39. And Worthy was wide receiver 25.
See, that one I can make sense of that during going into the course of the year. But Matthew Golden, that's crazy. That's like
Jerry Jeudy at wide receiver 33.
And see that I could make sense of because he finished as a WR1 the year prior, on a shitty team. So maybe people were just chasing that. Even then, that was crazy too. Jerry Jeudy like that high, fucking crazy.
J Love's telling me the fact that Cam Ward lost a fumble and that's why I lost the championship is nuts. I don't even realize that that's what it came down to.
Shout out to you for going to the championship with Cam Ward. Wow.
Well, I had Patrick Mahomes, but he got hurt.
Yeah, shout out to our man J Love. He was in 22 joints this year and won 11 out of them. Shout out to straight 50%. Let's go. You know what I mean? Shout out to J Love. He's a true warrior.
And then Malik Willis goes out there and just throws down 4 touchdowns out of fucking.
Man, this league is stupid. How did
I almost was one of the Willis truthers that fucking week 17. I didn't need it, luckily, but I almost did. I was like, oh fuck. I would have felt bad if I lost just by a little bit, and I was like, man, I knew I should have did Willis. I got
wide receiver underperformer, honorable mention. Right here.
Yeah, the modern bagpipes. They weren't very modern.
I didn't
want to hear those things. No, the lad, you fucked me up. I made it to my championship, the one that I did get to. I made it to, in spite of having Lad. Lad was just like a handicap every week. Like, listen, we're just gonna throw you in there. I know you're not gonna do much, but we're gonna get you one, Lad. I was trying to get him one.
It's tough.
Yeah, at least he's already part of the fraternity. I won joints with Lad as a rookie and made me just love him so much this year.
There you go.
Same thing with BTJ.
No yells for the laddie. No.
Yeah, no.
Saving the voice.
No, he doesn't deserve
the voice. Any other wide receiver?
The laddie. Fuck it, we gotta give him one. I got a little perturbed when you started playing the bagpipes. This reminded me of Vlad and all the years.
Lamar Chase was on the verge for a little bit, but then he Joe Burrow came back.
Yeah, I don't know where Cooper Kupp was getting drafted, but he was definitely a letdown. I wasn't Cooper Kupp.
Oh,
he's like a double-digit round guy.
Yeah, he was right pretty late, I think.
Yeah. So if he would have been a top 36 guy, that would have been value actually. But yeah,
I don't know if he finished inside of that though.
Yeah.
Did he finish inside of the 36?
Shame on you, Cooper Kupp.
I don't know where Cooper Kupp finished, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't.
The fact that Sam Darnold was lighting things up all season is just still beyond me.
And that they're on the verge of potentially having a bye week. with Sam Darnold. Remember?
Stupid Rams. What the hell was last night? You know what? The
Cooper
Falcons.
Kupp fumbled in that game too. He was trying to help the Rams as much as possible.
Check this out. When
Maybe
the
Drake
season doesn't matter,
because of,
when everything's over, when the
shit.
fantasy football doesn't matter and you don't need them, the Atlanta Falcons are the best team in the NFL.
I know. I needed Bijan so bad last night. He did it for me too. We still fell short. It was that bad.
Where was McLaurin getting drafted? Not very high, I don't think.
Yeah, because McLaurin definitely had the
He was
whole
like TD regression. He had TD regression built into his ADP.
That is
Marvin
true.
Harrison, as always, that motherfucker was.
Fuck
he was supposed to be a value and drafted
fucking
where he was being drafted where he should have finished, and then he didn't even hit that. I don't think.
Yeah, so now we're mad at him again.
Yeah, the ADP differential wasn't so great to where.
Yeah,
those are still good mentions.
That was another
good
bad,
mentions.
that was a bad fucking.
Disappointing.
Garrett Wilson, that's another bad one.
Oh, they tried him bad too.
And Ricky Pearsall, they ended up being
injury.
And you could say Keon Coleman,
Travis Hunter.
Travis
Hunter was a killer.
Injury.
Listen, if Ricky doesn't get hurt, he's 100 yards a game. He's ready, bro. I'm telling you, man. Like, that's how he started out. He started right
and Evans and Godwin, in their moments, they pulled through and became league winners for you.
Buka, crash and burn. How much of that is Baker? I wonder.
I mean, maybe he was just playing hurt since he got hurt.
He does
that
have
would be like
weapons.
Since week 6. You know what I mean? Like, remember they wrapped his whole hamstring and he went back in that same game, and then he was just like fucked off the rest of the year.
Wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't like they weren't trying to get it to him too, like in the end zone. He was still, and that one. I had to look into this one too. I was like, what happened with Tampa? I was like, oh, it's their offensive line for sure. Because
their defense has been Swiss cheese as well, and there's
but they've always been like that. But that's why we love Baker, because they're going to be
supposed to be a defensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, that is true. I love Skeletor. Shout out to Todd Bowles. He's like the real life Skeletor.
Hilarious. I gotta get some Skeletor drops.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed was a pretty big disappointment too for a lot of people.
A lot of those are, still partly injured.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas was just like, wow.
Yeah. That was kind of a Never Lawrence thing for sure. And then Brian Thomas got hurt too. So it was like, and he
was dropping stuff too, though. It's crazy.
You know what it is for me with Brian Thomas? I chased him with Mac Jones last year. And like the fact that Brian Thomas was on a bunch of my championship teams last year. I was like, yeah, love you, Brian Thomas Jr. We're going right back to the well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, or even Drake London. That was it felt like we were hitting until he got hurt. Then he played hurt. And then it was just like they should have put him on the IR early. And then, Penix dies, and then all that happened. You know what I mean? Like, it was just
Penix, I forgot he got it.
Yeah, Penix was done, like, I think week 5 or 6, whatever it was. Yeah, and by week 2, Drake London got hurt. So he blows up week 1, and then week 2, he was shitty. And then week 3, I think he had a decent game. And then that was pretty much it for London the rest of the year. He was just, you know what I mean? So the London's kind of JSN was drafted high, but if we're just looking at tier jumpers, I'd say JSN definitely jumped a tier, like, because we're to the elite tier. Yeah, to the elite tier, man. Like next year, he's he's the top 3 receiver off the board. Like
he's a polar bear, bro. That's an inside joke from this morning. As I sent the chat one of the wrong slides. I was asking Chat GPT why or how polar bears are elite.
Nice. Well, because they say polar bear. Listen, what can a polar bear fuck up a badger? Because I've come to learn that since Steamboat started calling me the badger, I was like, wow, the badgers are some of the toughest motherfuckers, though. You know what I mean? Like you just hit that badger with some venom, he'll just come. I guess the polar bear would just eat him.
It's because my kid hit me with some facts. He was like, who would win in a fight between like a black bear, this bear, a brown bear, and a polar bear? And I was like, I don't know, like all this stuff. And he gave me all these like tidbits as to why a polar bear would just like crush these other ones or whatever the fuck. And I was like, oh, okay. I forgot what they were, right? But then I had to look it up later because somebody posted a picture or a video of a polar bear on plank of ice, and it was just there chilling by itself. And they were like CJ Stroud trying to get into the elite QB conversation. I was like, polar bears are fucking elite, bro. What is this guy trying to say? Like,
they're the best of all the bear kingdom. And they say
I retweeted it with like one of those shrugging emojis, like, what the fuck? The polar bears are fucking elite, bro.
Bro, they say look at that polar bear was on the ice, so he can go to the other side and go kill some shit. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Polar bears are like that, bro. Like they say they're the most vicious. Like,
it's because they look cute and cuddly, bro.
Yeah, nah. I know, drinking Coca-Cola and
stupid
shit.
Coca-Cola. Giving us those false images of
drinking Coca-Cola.
You guys see a polar bear out in the wild, do not approach. Actually,
if you see one wearing a Santa hat,
if you see a polar bear in the wild, you're dead.
No, that's a fact. And listen, if you see a polar bear wearing a Santa hat, that means he just ate Santa, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not friendly.
Yeah, if you're anywhere in bear country, they don't really typically wander into your backyard. Although some black bears and like smaller,
trash out and stuff.
Apparently, if you live in Jersey. If you live in Jersey, the black bear, the black bear has become. I think they made it long now, all season long now, to shoot these fuckers because they're raiding like the neighborhoods now and like going through the garbages.
They're like the deer in certain neighborhoods. That's how
crazy.
Shit, they're over there trying to eat some deer
too.
Oh yeah.
No, they're eating out of the same can.
Let's move into
it's like, you know, when you watch the Serengeti fucking plains and there's a big ass lake and all the animals drink the water and they're like, all right, there's some sort of truth. This is like a safe zone. Nobody's gonna fuck up everybody except for the crocodile. Crocodile says everything goes. But everybody else chill. I'm trying to get some drink here.
Those are crazy. Yeah, that's true. There's like an unspoken truce, like for a bit. Like we all need to survive off this water, and then we'll reset.
Yeah, I've seen it before in National Geographic.